Hi there. How's everybody doing today? So, let's start off. What is a hyperclass? Well, to the definition, when we intermix a real classroom and a virtual classroom, yada, 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 everybody here should be able to read. What I've done is I've taken this definition and I've kind of adapted it to make it my own. And that's kind of what I hope will happen here today. I'm not using anything that you probably haven't seen before. I'm just using this in a different manner in which you've seen it used. So let's begin. So I am going to show you two different ways that I go about, as of right now, setting up interactive QR codes. The first one is what I like to call 21st century CYA. And I'm sure many of you know what that means. So I'm in a CTE area. I'm in the HVAC area. And so I have students dealing with many different things that can be a safety hazard. We go over safety in the classroom. We demonstrate safety. But I need to make sure that I have some sort of given proof that a student knows how to deal with one individual subject. So, for instance, I will make a Google form, and in this Google form, we're going to call it nitrogen, or we'll just call nitro safety, okay? And the very first thing I'm going to do from there, well, back up here, is I'm going to add, oh man, I'm showing you everything I do wrong. Add a video. There we go. So if you've already gone ahead, hopefully you scanned the QR, or you already knew how to make a YouTube video, or maybe you found some content on YouTube that you just want to incorporate, and that's fine. If, for instance, you're an academic and you have a review on To Kill a Mockingbird from the scholars that you like, you could actually take and put in the link of what you like in here, and you search it, and it'll come up. So this video my students have produced already, and it has been edited, of how to set up a nitrogen tank. So I like this video. And I'm again going to call this Nitro Safety. My students are well aware that I like to shorten everything up. And so right here, I think I'm going to add some questions. Okay, so the first question I'm going to ask is a simple one. Did you watch the video? Seems simple enough, right? And then I can click yes, no. Okay. So now I'm going to make this required, and I'm going to go to a different section, which is what I put here, based off of their answer. Meaning they can't proceed through until I know that they have in fact watched the video. So, did you watch the video? Yes. Go ahead to the next section. No, I'm sorry, I didn't. Well, guess what? Now you can't go forward. Go back, watch the video. So, this next section, I want to know who this is. So, personal info. Okay. So, first question. Easy peasy. What is your name? Short, to the point, I need to know who you are. And that's why it's called a short answer here. Again, this will be required for them. I'm going to add a question here. Okay, this one is a good one too. What is your student ID? Oh, we can get a little fancy here. ID number. Okay. Now, I'm going to remove this validation. I just want the number. And the reason I do that is that way I have, hey, this is that student. Okay, I have the student ID number. I don't ask in here for his email address because there are some options as you go through and play with Google Forms that you're going to be able to actually require them to put in a valid district email. So it would already grab and capture them and that's something you can play along with and get a little better on your own. I want to give you enough time to kind of play with what I do here. So what is your name? What is your student ID number? So I'm pretty happy with that. And then I'm going to add one more question here. This is a very generic question. I'm going to add two more. What is the date? Oh, hey. Okay. It automatically, Google's smart. It knows I want the date. Okay. Right away. Include time. Yeah, what time did you do this? So I have your student ID, your name, your date, and the timestamp. Okay. One more question here, and this is, do you feel you understand how to safely set up nitrogen tank for use? Simple question. And I want to know their answer. Again, if something goes drastically wrong, this is my high-tech CYA, right? CYA in the 21st century. So yes, I understand. Great. No. And, give them the maybe choice. Again, we'll require this question, and I will let them go to section based on the answer. Yes. If you understand, cool. I'm going to let you submit this form. Great. Okay. No, I don't understand it, Mr. Horde. I'm going to send you right back up to the video. And again, if maybe, let's watch the video one more time to make sure you got it. So you can see that this is a really good way to make sure that everybody is covering when you make a student or you ask a student to do something that has some sort of risk involved, even if you've taught that student multiple times. So now I got my form. I'm happy with my form, even though I put that name here. Just make sure, because you'll end up with lots of these forms, that you go ahead and give it a good name up here. So I got my form. Now, on some computers, and this has changed drastically since we've kind of put a lot more security, you can simply put an add-on and go to QR Code Maker, and it will develop a QR code for you. I have not had any luck with this since we've done some drastic updates to our security. I am going to actually sit down with our technology coach and TJ here at our school and see what we can do with that. Okay. In the meantime, we'll do it old school. We'll take this, we'll go ahead, we're going to copy this, and then at that point, I would go ahead, and again, I know I use Firefox all the time. It's a horrible habit. I'm trying to break it. I'd go over to my Google Chrome, and I already have my app here, my QR code generator. Put my URL in here. Simply paste that in there. Okay. And at that point, then I just save it. And I'll give it a file name because I'm going to have tons and tons of these QRs. Right now, I think I have about 15. The goal is to have anywhere from 50 to 100. I want every single thing that a student can look at in my classroom to be interactive so that they can go ahead and base their knowledge on their own pace. Again, nitrogen safety. Yeah, okay. See, teachers make mistakes too. And we're going to save this. And it'll come up here. Then we have it as a save file. You can drag it. You can go ahead and do whatever you want. Always open these files in this type. Whatever rules you want to set. I normally drag it over because I have a folder here. And that's just the way I personally do this. Okay, so that is if I made myself a Google form. I went all the way. I made my Google form. I go ahead, I have my QR, I print out a QR, and I put that right there on the nitrogen tank and tell everybody, hey, before you use nitrogen, you must scan and have this on file. Okay? Now, what if it's not necessarily safety related? Not everything requires a Google form, because this isn't a Google form class. This is using technology to unlock information on everything. So maybe I'll just go here to where my students, again, have submitted all their YouTube videos that they personally made. And I'll pull up this student here. He did a good job. I am going to select this text. There we go. Copy it. Now, I already have a video that I know I like. Again, at that point, I could just make an instant QR that will link right to that YouTube video. I don't have to make a Google form. I don't have to necessarily do all these things. I just want to shorten the time between the student asking the question in their mind and them unlocking the information for themselves. I will save this. These students did pipe threading. So if I taught a student how to do some pipe threading and there's a lot of steps involved, rather than a student come over to me and say, Mr. Ward, we're on step 4 and we don't know how to quite get to step 8 properly. Right on the threading machine now, I'm going to put a small, tiny little QR. They'll take out their phones. They can do it on their Chromebooks, but it's not as user intuitive as a phone device such as an iPhone or even an Android with a scanner, because it doesn't have the front-facing camera. So just a little heads up on that. So again, I'm going to save this. Now I have my pipe thread. Okay. In this case, for me, I would just drag it over. Now it's on my desktop. I would exit out of all this. I literally open up pipe thread at that point, and then, I could go ahead and print this. A lot of times these are pretty big, so just a quick little last minute FYI. I personally think that 60 is the go zone for these QR scans. They have a little trouble if you go below 60% on these. So if you go to 60 and you go ahead and print, and maybe put a few on here so you're not wasting as many trees for my friends, the eco warriors. That's a good thing too. So go ahead, play around. I want you to get up out of your seats. I want you to look around and scan a bunch of stuff. Please realize we're not there. And when you try to do this, you're not going to be there in the first month, maybe not the first year. This takes time, but this information never goes away. Each year that you have students in, they may look at your Google form with the video that's embedded and say, Mr. Ward, I think I can do a better job. And they miss some information. Well, you go ahead, you let those students produce that video.
Attention staff.
Hold on.
Megan, Rob, Stephanie.
Sorry about the interruption there. That's what happens when we're in the school day. So you go ahead, you let these students produce a new video, and it's as simple as plug and play. I can go back into that Google form, I can edit out the old YouTube link and put the new YouTube link in and update that as my students grow, my classroom grows, and technology itself grows. So hopefully this gives you some clues of where you want to go. Thank you and have a great day. Bye-bye.